Yenya Musa Dankwah Global Info Analytics. One hwehwemu nim se de bia no, one de o hye ase enye ne. Na odi hwehwemu aba kire se Ghana for say no musu hu John Dramani Mahama. Say na Ghana for hu John Dramani Mahama. Na memo ne ekosen corruption na ekosei. Afen so otisi mu se ene John Dramani Mahama ni ho a why na ebia dodo na pen say obe replace John Dramani Mahama. Very interesting discussions and research and our findings no kire say John Dramani Mahama anywhere why na ebetimi a take it over. Na nkofo chese ase edu nketia ebi say Professor Jane na ebi kire Cassiel ato forcing nanso den research ne sesen kai say research de etimi sesa te say ne a yebo John Dramani Mahama abaso no ebetimi aduru ba bi na Ghana fo no mo bo na abaso se enkoyi kai say edrume bi na Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo in 2017 no na approval rating and over 72%. I just said now you Ghana for 10 emu 7 say why there. That was the early stages of Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo. But Nana Akufo-Addo be free so now the Ghana for 10 siwa emu 9. That is 90%. And I say enyoma enkoyi. 90%. And I say enyoma enkoyi. And the fact say Ghana for over 60%. They say we Ghana for 10 emu 6 say John Dramani Mahama ya dear. Now obetimi maintain or the beka ho anase esote. So we share analysis and over the years enyoma esina in pempi no e sha asie yi but na wie ye no enhye da nye papa. Enti ebusa say John Dramani Mahama say Ghana for dodo na say so far a year na onim surprisingly ye ka corruption na Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo wo ho no na president Nana Akufo-Addo na so ye no na Ghana for susu say corruption pa no omuni police for e na eko ope institution na ye corrupta Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo ne breso no presidency ho no mususu say ketahye e wo ho e na police for there no magi omudin pa but surprisingly this time around no enyoma esesa in fact almost say less corrupt no I intense no na John Dramani Mahama ni ministers and in appointees because unshare Dante said so far yebeka say John Dramani Mahama minister bi and I say na appointee bi akofeska and akọ wiesika Ghana for dodo na nsusu say corruption no John Dramani Mahama ya de fight better than Nana Dankwah Akufo-Addo die no nemom the issue of galamsey die still na Ghana for susu say John Dramani Mahama enya de John Dramani Mahama enya de intimpacho over Facebook ye de to enche ye ni Musa Dankwah odi yani Musa Dankwah ebetwetwe enkomo na wakyerɛkyerɛ mu yi ɔno na de research no aba nti yebegya su Eugene say to the fact checker head of research oba beka yensa na ye busa ye ho de ekoso ekyerɛ sɛn mekai sɛ ahaya na ne ye research ne ye researcher na NPP for no oyam say enye papa afi de eye papa no afi no omoti nyoma na ye kanase won say ye de enye de wo feel ye de research no now so surprisingly BBC wa ha o share research ni mu a obia ebia 9 yemfa say how many regions 16 regions no 15 regions ni nyina se ekoi no ba Ashanti region kwa de a omo se John Mahama nya de tese bibia no ba Ashanti region kwa de a omunka bebre ema NDC. I was surprised. Say sanity. The intina all the other regions can be big fofro. But no ba Ashanti region there. Oma omni omudi enkomo no. Omo say John Mahama nya de. Hey, asemo. True. Yem so be de na yama wu akwenya ebusa say wan kasa John Mahama 3 months Uhu se oye adie anaso onya adie. Yemma serial callers bi amfre, NPP ni NDC fo bi amfre. Yebema neutral people na afre na wankasa wabusa. Na onim de ekoso adie ba ko ese hu kra ne se. O share research na yera Musa Dankwah by director Info Global Analytics no odebana. Say even in the eastern region, yesu say eye MPP no. Say NDC ya take you over. And you say a cast stronghold of MPP eye dia. Mayenko ahoma no so na ni Musa Dankwah, executive director Global Info Analytics. Kofa by ono na year researcher from timer MPP for betu mu primaries Kenya Japan Alan Bawumia or de by John Dramani Mahama na busuafo na elections no so be kaya samre na no mu predict say be ko run off ebia Bawumia be wini ebia say no ono nko a ne ni di nkomo ka say one touch Emma John Dramani Mahama mayembusa ne say research we abey e kire say ora Musa Dankwah machi NC Raya fan. Ojo bibia boko de.
Adum.
Great. Yet wahana no me hu say o Facebook o de current research ababa beto. Research ni ye den na pese hu ansa ne akọ details ni mu.
You weigh the normal regular annual tracking poll. Every 90 days no. Nan a big here say be starting in January. But I know yet that one. Yeah, January no. And a jaya up to now 90 days. And we a normal tracking poll every 90 days no. And on a shot here. The last time I be October 2024 before the elections.
Enti enyoma ben na mudi gina ho. Na mo hwe efa sa national pool ni.
You know, you want to be a dibia you quiet bisa so that you can compare now the time Muhammad time and even well beyond this gentleman. Maybe they say direction of the country, the performance of the president, among for them at the sense standard of living. Omo GD say be improve one not. Bisa about current state of corruption in Ghana today. Bisa say o man abano obono homoding in the fight against corruption one now. So we question the and also how do you think the government is performing? The whole government is performing. But a brief near the topical issue be aka. But we a constant question bisa. And going forward, no, the NPP and NDC primaries will also feature every 90 days.
Interesting. Now, yanko national one answer near ba NPP ni NDC dieno. So national one no na nkofo kire se corruption asem no John Mahama fighting year and answer day.
Yes. Oshwe the first question Ibisa almost say. Ibisa almost say corruption and ne at the same Ghana ha. Ekofo ana ekosro ana bibi jina bibi sa ne jina bibi ne jina. And that's a one opinion. Ibisa you know remarkably majority of voters say ekofo. Inti a clear show say mami ma figure no I mean NC Raya fan about 59%, in fact 56% it is improving. Corruption is improving in Ghana today. In October 2024 no almost is improving na 20%. And then a 56%. Almost is getting worse. No, now a 52% in October. I feel a 14%. So clearly, something has happened. What the regions are, in fact, every region except Bono and Omam say Omam same and those who Omam say is improving. But in every region, majority is saying say it's improving, including Ashanti region. 51% of Ashanti region voters are now saying say corruption in Ghana is improving. Now, Ubisa say, is the government fighting corruption enough? This current government. Omar say yes, 59%. Not 29% in October last year. Omar say abino and fighting corruption. October now 62. I feel about 26. Something has changed.
Interesting. Say on the issue of corruption in there, so far Ghana forces to say John Mahama bon home day change the nim dadano.
Sanity.
See a share direction of the country, say on mino koye and I say enkoye na mitimi who be ha say as I say nyoma koye kakra say 62% as against 31%. And no chance saying.
Omo aye de edin kita ho no. Ibisa omo se omo hwe mining nyina bibi ekoso bia no. Omo ogidi se ekwan nam so no. Eye ekwan papa so ana se ekwan no eso otro. October no. Omo se eso otro no. Na eye 62%. I feel only 26%. Oma say quite numbers on a quite papa so na 31. I feel echo 52. Name my sister.
Abino so modern mono. It appears say Ghana forces to say abino air bono home modern. San tier regions in Nana.
Main check but it's likely going to be the same because Mahama Modimbo air across regional and the government is doing even higher than Mahama. Then it means across all the regions, no, that would be the perception.
Interesting. Now, me who said Galamsey a same be womb. The end of Ghana for can ever Galamsey.
It be so say Mahama Bay across road and I say Swati, Galamsey and Semi. The whole Ghana no. 38% say, oh, a Swati. And 10% say, there be a Kosovo. Into Ocean, plus 28% say, a Swati nationally. But the Ocean, Omwa Galamsey regions, Omadrian, are slightly different. 28% say, oh, Galamsey, Semano, I improve a conform. But another 25 say, a Kosovo. We are Galamsey regions. Into Ukraine Buma, Omo feel say I improve no and I say conform no. Omo so by just 3%.
Interesting. Adeba Kwa me finding interesting was corruption perception score. There were various institutions here, what Ghana ha. Say Ghana police, immigration, judiciary, tax for local government, business executive, EC, traditional leaders, parliament, prisoners, military, presidency, religious leaders, ministers. Interestingly, no, still our Ghana police for the top, our Ghana forces who say omuna corrupt, immigration for etoso. Now about courts and still na Ghana forces who say corruption. Ghana police, immigration, courts. Ghana Revenue Authority, hey, local government representative, Wonomuwa Assembly. I mean, the first five, no, mintiase because minim say omembia bekoya, police a discipline, immigration ye discipline, court ye discipline, wonomuji tuo ye discipline, wonomuti assembly ye discipline betimi akwanim. Na Ghana for so say sanko for numi ya medical boom first five for nyina ye corrupt dia e twamfo ni be ne kire
it's a problem for judiciary and the police to be where they are And with the police, I think it's been like that. So, but the judiciary sometimes, almost safeguard the public interest. Oma moved from fifth position last year on the Afrobarometer to third position in the current poll. Meaning, say, the perception about the corrupt practices is getting worse.
Aden so akoso ne se Ghana forces say court here corrupt, police here corrupt, immigration here corrupt. Wono mjeje to here corrupt, womo mu assembly here corrupt. Omu ba nso ba from ha kakra won say ahemfo no kra nso so maka ho asem say omu nso ka corruption no ho. Parliament MPC nso bobo prison service bobo. But oba wona omu so say ekoyie corruption ne wo from na as compared to last year na ye husen na Akufo Addo de ne ka ho no. We realize say Ghana forces say soldiers, president, asofo and religious leaders, imam and ministers and government officials so far no omo say Ghana forces say omo na corruption no any bebre. I am quite surprised. Then answer sir.
I think I'm very surprised too, because traditionally we are corrupt, minister are corrupt, but we have seen a dramatic shift. And those at the bottom are mostly the political class, the presidency and the ministers. So it means that among four, there was different perception about the current president and his team at the Jubilee House. And also about the people that he has appointed as ministers and the head of public institutions. So it's a very good place to start as a group.
Because at the end na esia Ghana for susu say Nana Akufo Addo aban no mususu say or corrupt all of a sudden John Mahama de almost say e wo fom.
Oshe ejuma ura for year, I think it contributes to this kind of sentiment. And some of the things are in terms of national security, arrest, AG, prosecution, arrangement. We now can and that kind of good perception for them.
Interesting. Now, Yemra Dampare no so. As a Dampare, Kofo ka say obo modern pa enso so. Ghana for now so support is ye ni free ho. Mentiase nipa a umso ma ya ade. But o share Ghana for now se there bi. Ye no.
It became a modern ball in relation to the elections. And our rating is very, very high. But I'm say, I'm maybe nanka ebisa these questions before we nanka a different story. But people will tend to side with the president because they support the president. They think he has better judgment and better information to make a decision than they themselves.
Interesting. Now, Bakwa Mesheye. And now we are coming into the locals, NPP and NDC. No? But let's look at Bakwa, and I think said that was a brilliant work. Na opese ubusa se ene yes to aba between John Mahama and Dr. Bawumia. Bibi betimi asesa. Anasa nebia yemfanse afeni ese beto aba ebia de keka bibi betimi asesa. It was interesting say as still na no ye to aba na Joma Habasapo Dr. Bawumia from e de nko na Dr. Bawumia ye de nko na Joma Hama why say still na no ne vim was rosa
minimum but Oceania approval about 62%. And in fact, 66% said they approve of the way he's doing his job. So, and you're surprised to say, he will get 59%.
Interesting. Nti ene ese koto aba Ghana for besa to ama John Mahama.
Yes, I'm better among you.
Dr. Bawumia no mumpe na asema na ase die nko a.
And yet easy questions like that too. What happened in the last election was didn't Mahama winning landslide no. Pola express omo ananka omo koto ama Bawumia kura no. Omuduru hono about 17% extra omago.
Menti ase.
Ibisa omo say abato no nanka hwan na we wabi say obeto ama no. Ena uduru hono hwan na oto ma no. Omo ye omadwin say obeto ama Bawumia. Emu 82.9% pe ena omuduru hono omoto ma no. So roughly 17% omuduru hono almost 17%. That is very huge.
I say bia me se meto ama Bawumia ba me dru na no adwan sesa na to ma.
Yes.
Hey. Ado you madru ana.
40% of people who had planned to vote for Bawumia ended voting for Mahama on the election day.
Interesting.
Oba omuye nana kwambedi akwa. Omuduru hono 32% of his supporters etuma Mahama.
Hey, oma no mo ye cheda no.
Cheda for. Omo anamoye Alan no 30% etuma Mahama.
Alan for no
30% etuma Mahama.
Alan for na kometo ama Alan 30%.
Yes.
I see.
Omo kotoma kuma CPP. Emu 50% anto ama omo tuma Mahama.
CPP for ne dey say I mean say a party na gu ti na ye dey be sesan.
Omo a na omo kotoma Dr. Yarega emu 42 omuduru hono omo tuma Mahama. Omo a omo tuma Tumbarima omuduru hono 57% etuma Mahama.
Asemaba.
So this is the reason why Mahama won landslide.
I see. Nese, is it about the message? And then let me come to that because minim say ba kubi nso abusa na so hu die ntie ma NPP elusu ye. And minim say already we some social media publicly me hu say na Akufo-Addo, but this particular research ya we ye actually be say as a defeat na MPP defeat ye no na Akufo-Addo a key stakeholder didn't you know more kasa because minim so omugu so call round say busa nkofo de ntie mo lusu ye omugu so mani abre but still na confirm say nipa kra o ma omu defeat enya asan kugo na hwe pa no ayo man kasa the leader which was Musa Dankwah de nko ano ye ya so bad still na Ghana 4 point say ono na obi abehwe Bawumia de no na Bawumia de ne ewo fom mi wan so nka Bawumia nim ene wo ballot paper no so ti eden na nkofo to aba wo bra new face yet almost na Akufo-Addo ntina Bawumia lose ye.
I mean, we share anecdotal evidence and indeed analysis. Bawumia was running on the performance record of Nanado. So whatever the people perceive Nanado to appear for is what Bawumia was going to run on. And let me do what key decisions are Mampeni one take. For example, Ken case is a big issue. You can't blame Baumia for not sacking Ken. That is obvious. And also Ahimfo. Sometimes I mean, it didn't go down well. Even look at the way he spoke when he went to Kwabre East. Nanka Odna Tikitimua, as you said, he was on ballot on Kasa. So those things were also, people regret them and got a bit disappointed.
Michelle Waha. Na over Facebook and Pachobra, say I finna do a video to many executive director Global Info Analytics, one of the credible institutions. Omu yenjishemu efa amanyo semho share say omampenya woteso say na Ghana fosi hu no say na Ghana fosi hu institutions ye ni omu ye adwuma or tie the ba 3 months bia no dia ba to the bia month bia no release e ma ye hwe de Ghana fosusu. So be kaya papa e de baya kopim say ye to aba ye MPP for do na credit din na time ka so nim de oka ombia ka de obeka ka nkofo kra ka chen say ono otini baby no ye lotto forecasting ba minim adwuma papa we onna a oye in fact to the bia time e be din komo ene baby onenam no na nkofo tinkran ni kuma say yes say we are breaking the 8. But the point is that what the fofraba for now, the Abano or church, so far, Kofosu said John Dramani Mahama or Bon Homoden, it will be Biemunum Galam say issues in the Ghana for no, reservations. But Osha institutions almost say a year corrupt no. First now, Nanke and Nakufa do not swear, but they say, it's what a bafom pa, name sell police in a court to ne Ghana Revenue Office for the immigration there. Yes, some of the corruption, Moody Jari, Munya margins and messes into the Megum who any masses no problem. But ye gusua ye kekake kano, ye drew lavoi, unko 4 person umuhu dien tinema MPP Lucy ye Jeffa and no project here no sisi anafi yenko afi MPP ni NDC dienemu. Timini Musa Dankwah na ejuchun komo over Facebook aye de to share enyoma according to the credible poster Musa Dankwah enyoma ema MPP elusu ye yenhwe the factors no na afi yemra MPP ni NDC no say why na likely is it Kennedy Japan is it Baumia oba NDC munso a why na ye ka no ho asem now oba ha Obaseya, why munema anadie nema MPP lusu ye? Musa Dankwah menene twetwe nkomo busa questions bi. Die nti nema MPP lusu ye. Odi nyoma bi toto ho ne friend thematic areas bebia opesa wo he no. First obusa ye Nana Akufo-Addo, Kenoforiata, Dr. Baumia, Napo, Aban Munkrofo, MPs, Kennedy Japan. O share research na eba na. So we wona ye buso mu no Ghana for Tennessee wa emu 6 and emu 7 de almost say Nana Akufo-Addo. De etosu mienu enye Baumia o eye Kenoforiata. De etosu miensa eno so say eye Baumia po anumpo no uyi Ghana for 10 a omususu say emu 3 and emu 4 ne susu say Baumia. But ye elections na Baumia ni na so but emu 7 to emu 7 there 6 to 7 there omeka chrew say Nana Akufo-Addo na ponso ka ho ena aban mu nkrofo nso ka ho ena MPs ka ho ena Kenya Japan there ne eye kakra bi Musa so ne say still Nana Akufo-Addo hu abufuo unsu say eno so ka ho na asama Baumia bre
eni en kre because omo di na kire na ado ena ono so ontimi ngi ne ho ma enye yi. And that is the problem.
Interesting. Right. Now, for the last 3 minutes here, Enka Bibi Kakra. Oh, yeah, another research on MPP for no. MPP, they are now, 2028. Why they likely say, Obetimi lead MPP. Meaning, say, Kenya Japan, unity. Bawumia nso obekọ mate say honorable Dr. Yawadutum nso enya obekọ Kwabena Japan honorable Brian Champon and honorable Francis Adenimu na ade omoto obe 6 still na no MPP internally omo prefer Dr. Bawumia. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is the case so far from the data. Early days, but it's a good start for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nationally and among NPP4. Ophia, he has about 57% support within MPP. But Ophia Swan, among NDC, no, or 44%. But that number, no, you should do that with very, very skepticism. Because NDC for must say no. Because of Philip say obey fu another genuinely. And also the figures are quite tricky.
Interesting. And still now no Canada Pon beko, but still now delegates MPP for no. Omo likely so mechu su Bawumia.
I mean, we haven't spoken to delegates yet.
Okay.
We are general voters.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The delegates who you be what remember. I'm gonna work from Swaba. We are gonna party into so called Banwa for the dynamics no early days, but going forward you will see.
My maybe something quite DC for the anymore. Dr. Bawumia Elidia. Ususu say onsen repeating na po ana. Oh, Nana.
Yes.
Sentina mi busa ono.
But over the data from every surveyor, he was a liability. But if you think you can turn liability to an asset, maybe we are another genius. You can do that.
Liability, they say, oya this one ma Dr. Bawumia any MPP ana.
Yes, he didn't bring much vote.
It is na po amfa bibia anka ho bibiri sa.
No, really, no.
Nti ni kwan say Dr. Bawumia okay. I know you de me can answer academy busa. How about Sena Ghana for who educhum onu omudi nkomo no?
No, we didn't ask open-ended question, but clearly about 12.5% are mentioning his name, and quite a good number. Obekaya Kennedy started the campaign, Now he was even lower than the Edichumwe.
Right.
So there is room for improvement. Going forward, we'll see what happens.
Interesting. Now, I'm NDC DMU. NDC DMU. Meaning, say, no, the pressure pan and also. I mean, I was thinking, Senka, I said, didn't get here, Mate, because Mate said, didn't get here, Mate, Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, and Mate say, Professor Nana, Onokrase Bia, One, Jomahama, Nebe free. So, but interestingly, no, in MPP, you can say in NDC, and Ghana for no much in common. Almost to say, Professor Jane Nana, a better replacement for John Dramani Mahama. Is that the case? Because the me say Professor Jane Nana ALD, then followed by Haruna Idrisu, then Honorable Atofo Sin, Okuyeto Ablakwa, and then Johnson and Sedin Ketia, top 5 no, Onokrari. That's interesting.
Usha NDC race no, clearly front runner Professor Jane Nana. But she's still doing below even 25%. And not say the NDC race no a wide open.
It
will be. And in China, we will be anywhere or 25%. And Ocean, the Air Force will know in case Jinana Kase Onkwa, the risk will be shaping by where her supporters will go to. And that could dramatically alter the face of the race as we see it in the polls.
Wow. Nese metwasia me hu se waye general preference. But yenhwe wo hwe Gen Z for no. The new youth no new generation na yesusu se Ghana ha no youth no ne dose no. Omuka bibi foforo kra and Jeff on to so mame.
Yes, wo hwe omu choose the new generation. Say what we old faces ni free more. How does the race look like? We are no sanwa you see say Haruna Idrisu then takes a lead, Atuforsin in second place, Ablakwa in third, Honorable Zinato Ajma Rollins in fourth, and Omani Buaman in fifth. So these are the top ranking new generation NDC leadership among for Echira Magna Falbo.
Wow. Mission new generation na nyamba ba mission new generation ye mabunu ne de as a mabunu ne de umpe Johnson said nketia ne je na bia ni mahwe de omu peso mu hwa ne emrante no and new generation ne de as omu pe Haruna Idrisu ne ato forcing ene owe okujeto Ablakwa so ye the third person na Zenato and then Dr. Omane Boama but Haruna Idrisu new generation the aso mo pɛ no nti akwakogina ono ne ato forcing so na say new generation ne de boys ne girls ne de omo nhye na mpɛ asedu nketia ne gin na afsao ana.
You know, the response to your question lies in the demography of Ghanaian voters. How many voters in Ghana today are older voters who relate to the older people? And how many are young who relate to the young people? This is the new reality of the Ghanaian electorate.
Interesting. Nti samre say a political party na show about no anhwe ne according to youth population na ye wona now fan sa na bia koyi obi a womuntimi ne relate bi o ya abrewa na o ya akokora ebia betimi a party na ne nti asenu
it would really not augur well for you.
Meaning say we ne ye na sase di wie no e de na wo say MPP fo e samre ya still na delegates no and as yenye delegates but Ghana fo susu say ebia ba omiana na betimi LED as against Kenya Japan oba ahane nso a omususu say bia Professor Jenana but new generation nso support youthful candidates as against enkokra ne mmerwafo na e de afuto na de be MPP ne NDC fo ne mfanyi
nana oni mdeda minimum futu
Musa Dankwah yedase
Miss Medase
Executive Director Global Info Analytics and odi sanhwehwemu ne ebaye nhwehwenimu kire se so far Ghana forces so say corruption fight in John Dramani Mahama ya de kakra and na afin so far so good direction nso mususu say eye badaka diaka eba MPP mu nso a Ghana for no susu said still Dr. Baumia was chance as against the other candidates. Ghana for susu say one of the reasons my MPP lose here no ne kase pano ejina Nanado Dankwah Akufo-Addo so de toso mienu Kenya Japan and sana Baumia ba ene de akeka aka no. Very interesting. MPP NDC for no so I said din ketia na nkofo pushing no so far ene de ebia betimi asesa but I'm not sure say I said din ketia with what we know right now no. But I mean, it's too early. But Yankwa Humano Member of Parliament, Buakwa South, former Registrar of Scholarship Secretariat, Honorable